What's going on, nation? My name is William Brown. I've been in sales and servicing for most of my life. One of the first things I ever did was pretty much sales. It was working with a local journal slash newspaper in my hometown. So I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas about great customer service. Um, and I'm going to present it to you. How to have great customer service and give you ideas from both sides of the spectrum, from being served to serving others. Whether you're YouTube, DoorDash, whether you are McDonald's, Burger King, Reed's, Zales Jewelry, any of these types of various genres or businesses you can be in, or even in the medical, all sorts of things. I'm going to bring different people in to talk to you about either their experiences from one side of it to the other side. I believe customer service or serving people, that's my heart. I'm a type of person who loves serving. Um, doesn't mean I do it all great and all well, but I always strive to get better. Each time that I give any type of service. So that's kind of the journey that we're going to take you through. I can tell you many different stories about where I've failed, where I have succeeded, and honestly, I believe I have succeeded way more than I have failed. But I'm glad that I failed because it gives me a chance to course correct, and get better. So that's the journey that we're going to take. Want your comments about what type of service you're in, maybe have been in the past, whether as a kid you started out working at a McDonald's or Burger King or Chick-fil-A, um, or as an adult you could be in pharmaceutical or many other um, different businesses. But customer service and serving people is a very important thing, and somehow or another, we're all going to have to deal with service, whether being served or giving service. So that's the journey that we're going to go on. Just a little background story of me. Once again, started out uh, delivering and selling newspapers. Um, Later on in high school, uh, while all my friends were, at the time, I felt fortunate enough, or they were blessed enough to get jobs at McDonald's, Burger King, Hardee's in my local area, and a few other places. I was having a hard time getting a job at any of those places, and it was crazy. Um, Look, in high school, I was in what they call DECA. Many of y'all should know about DECA, Distributive Education of America. Forgot the C. But anyway, it was DECA. Um, and in DECA, one of the things that affected your grade was making sure that you had a job. So in my hunt for the job, I was trying to get at a car wash and all the fast food places that a bunch of my friends were at, and I was having a hard time. Luckily, my older brother, who wasn't living in the house with us at the time, he was living with his grandmother. He had a job at Reed's Jewelry, so shout out Reed's. Um, so for some reason, I don't remember if somehow he got the message to me or I just decided, hey, let me give it a shot. So went downtown, met with the manager, filled out the application, told him who my brother was. That helped me a lot. And then I got the position as what you would call the gopher. You know, go for this, go for that, take the mail, uh, do whatever you had to do. And then later on, what I would call, and people who have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, uh, you will like this comparison, where I met what I would call my rich dad. which was William Zimmer. So shout out William Zimmer, R.I.P. He's a great business leader. Came to me and said, "Hey, bring a suit and tie on the weekend. We're gonna put you on the sales floor." So there I was baptized into selling on the sales floor. Uh, did pretty good at it. Summertime when I could work full time while I was in high school, I was always in the top 10 of sales in the whole company. At the time, I think Reeves might have had 50 some, maybe 60 some companies. Uh, that was fantastic. I prided myself in being in that top 10 because I felt like I was treating people very well and treating them the way that I would want to be treated, or the way I want my parents or grandparents to be treated. And Mr. Zimmer taught me a lot. We'll go into a lot of that, just trying to get the background. And then coming out of that, started working more industrial longshoreman work. Coming out of that, well, during that time, we'd go to some auctions because we didn't have eBay, we didn't have any of that. But I'd go to auctions when I found out a business going out of business or anything like that. And one time, me and a friend of mine were very fortunate enough to go to a auction of hair weave. Well, actually, all hair products. They had everything, but we bought a whole buttload of hair weave. You know, sew in, all of that. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, yaki, silky straight, curly, all of that stuff. Anything from the, I think the shortest one was like a 4-inch weave to the longest. We had some darn 33-inch weave, maybe somewhere in that 27-inch weave, 33. That was the color. I learned all of that stuff, and then I would throw boxes of weave in the back of my truck, go around to all the different cities that were in the area that I lived in, selling weave, and show up. People be like, "Oh, the weave man is coming," all of that kind of stuff. Not weed man, weave man. So did pretty good with that. And then various other sales. Did not sell drugs, but various other sales. So learning how to take care of customers have always been a very important thing to me. eBay came along, started selling on eBay. That was up, down, up, down, up, down. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. eBay troubles, had to come off of eBay. And then eventually got around to Mercari, so selling items through Mercari. Also doing some Uber, some DoorDash, all about service and different things about sales. Now, Uber and DoorDash isn't exactly about sales per se, where you're telling somebody, but I believe presentation is part of sales also. So I always like to have a little uniformality to the way I would dress in doing that, or when I was selling hair, any of that. You know, I always wanted to have a certain look. I always felt like it was important. So that's kind of where we're at, and I feel like it's important for everyone to voice how they feel about customer service and serving in all sorts of different ways, because now we're in a whole new area of servicing people all sorts of new ways, all sorts of new businesses and avenues, and how do you serve people well. So you will see me bring in people, interview them. You will hear me tell you stories. I might even take you around with me when I'm going through a drive-through, or when I'm selling something. Any of that, how I pack some of my merchandise when I ship it out, all of that. Just want you to go into the chat Put in some of the businesses or places that you think are great with customer service. Like, if we talking about fast food, I myself think the Chick-fil-A is second to none when it comes to customer service. They train well, they hire well. I guess it really starts with the hiring. Whatever their vetting process, I think that's important. They train well and they perform well. So those things are very important. Um, and then there are some other companies that just seem to struggle. They're on what you call the struggle bus. No matter who they bring in, it doesn't go well. Um, and to me, that starts at the top, comes down. But what do you think? Do you think it's from the top down? Do you think it's all about the hiring process? Do you think it's about the training process? Or do you just think it's about the performance? Hopefully, maybe there's some people that manage some McDonald's and Hardee's and a bunch of the other places who can comment on, do you think the other ones are better um, than Chick-fil-A? Or how many of you think Chick-fil-A is the best? And then there's other companies out there, evidently a lot of people think Nike is great with customer service, in their box presentation and them shipping it out. Of course, their sales is different, high demand, but I never heard anybody say, oh, my Nikes came in looking like trash. And that's part of customer service, the way it comes in, the way it's presented. Clothing stores, clothing lines, all of these different things. Banks, what banks serve well. Navy Federal, are they better than Bank of America? Is Bank of America better than Citibank? Comment on that. Hotels, what hotels are the best? I've been to a few. I'm sure many of you that's listening and watching, y'all been to way more than that. Some of y'all got your credit cards and you get your points and you're able to go to many different places. Some of you just travel all around the world. I have a brother who's probably been to almost every continent on the earth, and I'm sure he can comment on it. He might look at it, he might see this, and he can comment on it. Love to hear from him. I might bring him in and talk to him and be like, hey, talk to me about customer service. That's the same brother who was working at the jewelry store that helped me get my foot in that door. I have other brothers who have traveled. I have friends and all sorts of things. I'm going to try to bring everybody in just so that they can share their experiences and you can see it. And maybe you even be able to ask a question. So hit the like button, subscribe, throw in some comments, as my people from Rad Nation would say, throw in the emoji dances, and we'll get back with you soon. Planning on having this video coming at you every day, different things about customer service, and we're gonna get it. Let's go. Shout out Rad Nation, Radical Marketer. Shout out to my people, Light Point Church, Light Point LA, my brothers, my sisters, everybody that have had a positive effect on my life, in my life. Definitely shout out to my wife, most important, my kids. You're gonna see them come in. We got some stuff that we do. Matter of fact, I'll walk that through. Every Tuesday for years, we go and see whatever the new movie is. Strategy to that is one, we get to spend time together. Two, it's cheaper, much cheaper. Tuesday movies, much cheaper. Three, it's just bonding. So something that we've been doing for years. We missed some. We've made a lot, and maybe we'll take you along a few times just to see how customer service is in a movie theater, or when we go out to eat. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. Y'all keep on following, Y'all hit the subscription, make some comments, comment to each other, comment to me. I'll try to comment back. Main thing is, let's do it with love, and let's do it with a servant's heart. See y'all.